Wow, can't believe it's been 5 years already, and I still love it like on day one. I guess the love never diminishes. Hey, what's up, guys? Giacomo here. 5 years on the wrist, the experience of wearing and owning a Rolex Daytona. Today, this is what I want to share with you guys. Iconic status and market value aside, how does it feel to own and wear a Daytona on a daily basis? First things first, this is reference 116500LN. It came out in 2016. Case size is 40 millimeters. Caliber is the popular 4130. Precision plus minus 2 seconds a day. Power reserve is 72 hours. Waterproof up to 100 meters. Screw down crown signed Rolex with a trip lock system. Sapphire crystal, COSC certified and Rolex certified after casing, chromalite on indices and hands, ceramic bezel with a tachymeter scale. And by the way, I should mention this is a column wheel chronograph. The most difficult choice when it comes to the dial is what color, white or black. When I ordered mine, the waiting lists were already closed. Sitting down with the AD, the only dilemma to solve was what color of dial would I want to get? And really that doesn't make much difference unless you really like one color more than the other. To me, this white is kind of an interesting color for a dial. I usually prefer a glossy deep black. The color itself does not change the aesthetics of this Daytona much. That's why it is so hard to answer that question, white or black. Different story for reference with steel bezel or gold for that matter, in which case I would go for a black dial any day of the week. In hindsight, white proved to be a better choice in terms of market value as pandas sell at a slightly higher premium. Not knowing this, at the time when I ordered my Daytona, I just thought white as more of a way of diversifying my collection. Regardless of those considerations, after almost 5 years of ownership, I stand by my decision. For me, white is the way to go for the ceramic Daytona. While we're hovering on the subject of dials, one can appreciate the gold indices and hands are made of. In certain light conditions, they really stand out as white gold has a warmer hue than steel. Legibility on this dial is not the best in business, but that's just because of the chrono complications. Definitely not a deal breaker. Speaking of dimensions and perception of the size of this watch, in person it appears smaller than what you see in pictures. On the wrist, it feels like perfection. It might sound tacky to say that, but over the years I wore many wristwatches and nothing gets near the level of comfort of this Daytona. 40 millimeters on my 18 centimeters wrist, it just feels right. More at home on my wrist than a Submariner. Just for reference, it feels slightly more comfortable. With just the right weight, it hugs the wrist perfectly. The Oyster bracelet feels extremely comfortable, no weird blunt angles or friction of any kind. I could wear this all day, forgetting that I have it on the wrist. Also, the weight of the case seems to balance out perfectly with the bracelet. The adjustable glide clasp is a godsend. I actually found myself using it even in winter when suddenly in a warmer room, coming from outside for example. The bracelet with a mix of polished center links and brushed outer links makes for a very elegant look on this professional model. Having said that, those middle polished links are a scratch magnet, although nothing a good polish won't remove. Hold on now, I'm not encouraging any polishing of a Rolex professional model. If you are a connoisseur or have knowledge into the Rolex world, you know that polished examples don't hold market value as much as non-polished. Now, coming back to this Daytona, what to pay attention for. Those pushers, they are screw-down pushers that you have to unscrew to be able to operate the chronograph function. The top one starts and stops the chrono hand, the bottom one resets it. So what I've heard is that on older models, pushers tend to get stuck in that rest position if they are not used for an extensive period of time. On the back, we found that typical Oyster case back finish. That brushed area you see now covered with a stock Rolex sticker is the most susceptible to scratches, especially if you're used to place your watch on tables or nightstands or any flat surfaces like so, which you should never do just for that reason. Speaking about value through time, the anomaly, this timepiece as seen through time is clear. It has reached peaks of 50K on secondary market. Now clearly the market has adjusted and realistically you're looking at 30, 35K for an example in mid conditions, box and papers. So after 5 years, what am I doing? Am I keeping it? Do I want to hold on to it? Even if I wouldn't, right now, it is probably the worst time to sell. Truth to be told, I never really thought of really selling it. It will be hard for me to get my hands on another example without having to pay way over retail. The Rolex Daytona is one of the most sought after and recognizable luxury chronograph watches in the world. Iconic, truly beautiful, it has Rolex quality, finish is great, and it is rewarding to just look at. Does it get enough wrist time? Not really. But that's just because as a collector and watch enthusiast, I always want to try something different. You might notice there is no visible sign of wear on this example. That's just because I do baby my watches and I don't wear the same watch for more than a week straight. Having said that, if I had to scale my collection down to a one and done, the Daytona will be it. So guys, I'm wrapping this one up. Thank you for watching until the end. Like and subscribe and all the good stuff. Catch you in the next one.